glad to have that $100 bill. Dad gave it to me. And what are you going to do with it? Will you share a part of that? Or things that you buy out of it? Or keep it to yourself? All your Hershey's and goodies? Next. And to have your fill and yet to think that can you manage to think of somebody else in one or the other way to share. Next. Now this is the illumination of life. I'm a kid, but don't kid around with me. I have humane thoughts in me and values, and I can do so much more that many adults and grown-ups don't have the thought of doing. Next. And life is to share. It is to give and take. Next. This is sharing, though hygienically not promoted by doctors. But then it is sharing. Next. This is a little child in the village with a poor mother, and I realized that there was an ice cream case there. Ice cream has reached the villages, the mountains too, for those who can afford, because that's the Kroger there. So I decided to pick up a bar and hand it over to this little girl, and she started handling it. She was eyeing it. Sab khate hain, everybody has it. What is that? And the elder one has hope, is not crying that I won't. Because the elder one hopes that this guy has picked up one for my sister. Will probably share one with me too. Never hit at the hope of somebody else. Because if you deprive somebody of hope, your life can become hopeless. Give more hope, live to the expectations of hope, and hop in life and get more hope for your own self. Next. And you can share knowledge, time, moments, happiness, pleasure together. Harry Potter. Next. You know why? How nice I look there, isn't it? Smart old man. So every picture is very ordinary. Next, next, next. And hold on this for half an hour. And see how smart I look, isn't it? That's the ego of a person. But here I'm going to share a story with you. Did I share it with you?
Yes.
But without the pictures.
Perfect.
Huh?
Yeah.
Without the picture.
Without the picture. And I now see the picture.
Yes. It was 3 years back that I was going for a walk on a road downtown in Missouri. My town. It's a hill station, about 7,000 feet above the sea level. It's a part of the Himalayas. And there are many passers-by at that moment. It's a road meant more for walking than to drive vehicles. It's a pedestrian road, wide road, which we call a mall road. And suddenly I find something falling down. I said, what's that? I find a bird which looks dead. I said, how could it fall? Probably a heart attack, flying high up and came down with a cardiac arrest, and me a doctor, you know. So I just thought of that. And then, where has it come from? I looked up. There were live electrical wires going between two poles, and I could make out कि वो बिजली की तार को touch करके electrocute होके गिर गई. So the doctor in me doesn't phone up 911. I pick it up, and people surround me and say, "Doctor साहब वो मर गई बिजली के कारण से मर गई." And I think within a millisecond, whatever I give it a cardiac massage and press its chest, its rib cage, for the heart might start pounding again. And I do it 2-3 times, and it opens its beak. The miracle of life, and the pendulum of life and death. And the aspect of service, hope, prayers. I could never imagine in my life that I would be giving a cardiac resuscitation to a bird, roadside. And there it came back. Then somebody ran to one of the little shops there, picked up a bottle of mineral water, which we call as Bisleri in India, spent maybe 10-12 rupees, without anybody asking. So the whole lot was saying, "Mar gayi, I let it go. It's over." And then life has come back, and we want to participate in this game of being a party to give life to this little bird. Gets up a big bottle of water, opens the lid of it, the cap, adds a little bit of water, and he is putting a drop into the beak, and it swallows. That man feels, I have participated in the greatest deed of my life today. Now I hold this in somebody with a mobile phone, because everybody has phones with good pixels in their mobiles nowadays, from here to India. And he takes a picture, which I take it back from him later because he sends me through a mail. And I'm holding this little bird. It's my doing. It was dead. I saved it, the doctor in me, the perfect human being in me. Now I will carry it back home, keep it in a small nest out of cotton wool, feed it, show it to my wife, and feel happy. For when I do some service, I want that's mine. I want to possess it and not let go. And after a moment I thought, how stupid, how selfish on my part. This bird has its own life. The only question is it feeling fit enough and strong enough out of the shock of electrocution that it can take off? He said, let me try. Let it go and fly. Now leave it. And there it goes across the valley. You keep watching it as far as you could, but to become a little spot moving there across the horizon and say, keep happy. But that is what care is. We do wish welfare and happiness and success forever, for as long as life goes, to those whom you touch. Far away, unconnected, disconnected. But remind yourself of it and get the go in life that I did a little thing which was worth my life. So if you live with feelings of that kind and intensity, not only that this little play of flirting with humanity, with life and birds and plants and trees and ants and atoms continues, it gives you that much of go, that much of strength, that much of self-confidence, that much of self-esteem, not ego, self-esteem of being the right person, that your individual life is successful, efficient, full of capability, full of attraction, full of many more of opposite sexes, to make the best one choice in life and go ahead and do business, be acceptable, popular, be the leader. All this comes out of sincere feelings of caring, sparing and sharing your Hershey's and 2 drops of water for a dying or a surviving little bird. Next. Well, this is just to talk to where I live. This is my house. It doesn't show my house life to the doctor too. Next. The surroundings of my compound of my house. Next. But that is one game. What I was trying to emphasize through 2 pictures of my home, my cottage, is that I am not a saint. I am not a sadhu. I don't live in a little room with a dhoti and have little food and a Spartan life. I think for my country and my background, I live in style. But this doesn't mean that I only live in style, for style, by style. That much for the good things of life. But how about better things in life? When I began my career as a doctor, do you think I had all the millions that I earned subsequently? No. I started from scratch. But even then, within a year or 2, I tried to save some money and picked up a car, an ambassador car as you call it. And the purpose was not to flaunt and show off in town, Dr. Sanon, this young man has a car, but was to reach the villages and serve the people, to outreach and reach out to underprivileged when I was much younger. So the element of service should begin now and grow as you grow. But when you start giving back to the nature, it makes you grow faster and more. And keep giving more. It's the best business. And get more give more and get more. And this is how you grow as a stalwart in your society around you. So I started visiting the villages. This is Dr. Sanon. He was young, looking after a child who was looking after another child. That is care. The mother is in the village. And he comes himself and carries another child. Isko bhi dekhna. Just imagine. That's what caring is. That's what responsibility is.